Welcome back to Twin Football. Thank you very much for joining us. Chelsea 1, Flamengo 3, as Chelsea fall to second place in Group D. Flamengo taking top spot and in control of their own destiny to top the group and to advance to the knockout stages after a great performance in Philadelphia. Let's go ahead and dive into Chelsea's performance and what is next for them. But before I do that, I must give a round of applause to Flamenco. Felipe Luis, former Chelsea man, Jorginho, former Chelsea man, did what they needed to do. They controlled that game. They had high energy, a great crowd of 50,000 plus there in Philadelphia, a majority supporting the Brazilian outfit. And they went in and got what they needed, which was all 3 points in a great victory for them. Brazilian teams undefeated so far throughout the tournament, including wins against PSG and Chelsea. South American fans showing up at the Club World Cup. There is discussion about who should host 2029. Give it to a South American team. We know what they can do from a fan standpoint in traveling and making noise and making the atmosphere in these, even when the Club World Cup was overseas in the Middle East or in Asia, now in the United States. They have been absolutely fantastic. So why not give them the host in 2029? But this video is all about Chelsea and how Chelsea performs. So let's go ahead and dive into the back line. Now, Enzo Maresca for this one, when I saw the lineup card come out, I was very excited because I got my wish. Cole Palmer moving out to the right-hand side and a midfield three that included Enzo Caicedo. In this case, it ended up being Reece James. And I bring up that because Gusto, you can see, had by this rating by SofaScore, it is a okay game and not a terrible game. I mean, out of the back line, he had the second best performance. I actually would almost flip the entire ratings of these back four. I think Gusto is a major reason why we conceded both of those first two goals today. He did not get enough pressure on his man that was able to header it back across. And on top of that, you had a center back pairing in Colwell and Chalobah that weren't able to clean up balls across the six that were going back post. Obviously, Lavia may be responsible for not following his runner, but these center backs, if you are inside the six and a ball is headed back across goal, I expect them to be giving everything to get rid of that, anticipate that, and get that ball cleared. I don't think Colwell had that great of a performance because of that. I think he is a little bit at fault there. So I wouldn't give him a 7.1 rating. And Gusto, I would tank. He has been, in my opinion, Chelsea's worst player. If you go back across the 3 games, which include the 2 games of this tournament and against Real Betis in the Conference League, he could have been a reason for us conceding against LAFC. He misjudged a ball last game. He allowed both of those balls to go back across against Flamengo today. That led to their first 2 goals. And he had a terrible, terrible half against Real Betis that saw him subbed at halftime. And I just wonder if his head is in it. There is maybe some rumors going around it. Will he stay? Will he go? I wasn't very happy with his performance. Sanchez played okay. I'm okay with the 7.3. He had some good saves in there. His distribution, again, a little questionable, especially early on. Definitely a major concern, but especially for someone who was on the chopping block going into this tournament, I think he's played decently well and responded pretty well to that criticism. Cucurella up and down the field a lot in this one. And I think he got caught out a lot, but I don't think that was his fault. I think we had a lot of technical breakdowns just in terms of being on the ball and loose giveaways, just not being technically sound. So let's go ahead and move up to those midfield 3 that I talked about. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Reece James. Reece James getting the start here. I don't feel like he is fully comfortable yet. If that's going to be something that he is doing more often, I don't like it. I would have rather Lavia be in this situation, and we actually did get that substitution in the second half. Lavia came in, Reece James went off, and we did have an Enzo Caicedo Lavia with Cole Palmer out on the right-hand side for all of like 3 minutes. And it was what I've been screaming for, but sadly it led to another poor giveaway, a poor goal to concede 3 minutes later. And then 3 minutes after that, Nico Jackson gets a straight red card and ruins everything for me. So I don't know if we will go back to this type of formation in the last game against Nice, but I don't think Reece James was fully comfortable. I'm okay with the 6.9 rating. Caicedo was everywhere. Once again, fantastic performance. Reece James, I'd love to see him on the right-hand side with Gusto out, Lavia in here, and I would love to see like a full half of that where we're not fighting from behind. Lavia did well on the ball today. Absolutely fantastic when we were down to 10 men to be that guy to bring the ball forward from the back line. He didn't lose it. He was good on it. Enzo trying to get forward as much as possible is always great, and Caicedo cleaning up was fantastic. As we move to the front line, Pedro Neto always being a pest, forces an error from Flamengo early on, does all of the work to get the goal, which was absolutely fantastic. He was switching from the left to the right as well because of the fact that Cole Palmer was uncomfortable, not getting engaged in the game, not checking for the ball like he would if he was playing the 10 role. So many times I'm used to seeing Cole Palmer check back to the right back position to pick up the ball. But when he was playing on the right-hand side today, absolutely nothing. Very few touches in the first half, gets pulled in the second half after we go down to 10 men and Jackson gets sent off. Madueke didn't really have much time to do anything, but I didn't like his energy either. And the lab, I don't necessarily agree with a 5.7. I thought he was pretty good in terms of making the runs. There was some miscommunication there between the midfield three and him in terms of a run and ball placement a couple of times, but this is his second game, his first start, and it's going to take some time for these people, for them to gel together. And so I'm okay with that. 5.7, I feel like, is a little harsh. I thought he played decently well. And I think a major problem that we ran into was just mental errors, missed passes, not running with your man. The energy from Flamengo was there from the start. We handled it well in the first half. We did not handle it well in the second half, especially when they got those 2 goals. I mean, you're talking about a 10-minute period here where we concede twice and get a red card. The worst possible 10 minutes you could have. It catapulted Flamengo for the rest of the half. And Nicholas Jackson, what can I say about him? Absolutely terrible. Another red card, another reckless play, another important game. This was the most important game of the group stage going into it. You knew that before you even went into it, let alone when 50,000 people showed up. All Club World Cup, all we hear about is there's no fans, there's no fans, there's no fans. 54,000 people showed up to this one, a majority for Flamengo, and you come on and within 3 minutes you get sent off for a lazy challenge. Yes, maybe in other games it's not a straight red card, maybe a little harsh, but you let the door open for a referee that was throwing yellow cards all over the place. You knew what the atmosphere was. You knew you were down 2-1 at that time. Absolutely boneheaded move, sent off, terrible. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You left Chelsea high and dry at the end of the run of the Premier League season. We pushed through and came through without you. You left us now high and dry in this game. We were unable to push through against Flamengo. We're going to need a good performance in the next game, and then we'll see if we can make it to the knockouts and how all of those games are going to fall to see who our matchup is. I said before this tournament started, 4 wins were mandatory. I still want 4 wins. We have 1 so far. That means we're going to need to do something in the knockout stage for me to be happy with this tournament. We'll see how the bracket shakes out. I wanted to play a team like PSG in the quarterfinals. We'll see how it all shakes out and who we end up playing. Even in the round of 16 and then the quarterfinals after that. The way that these South American teams have been flying high, they have kind of skewed what people thought going into this tournament. Overall, I thought the energy was better in this game than against LAFC. I thought we handled things really well. I'm excited about the possibilities of this team going into next season from this game with the Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, and Cole Palmer. But we just needed more. You just got beat today. We got beat by a team that played better for 90 minutes. And that's just all that happened. You can't give excuses outside of that. Flamengo were the better team over 90 minutes, deserved all 3 points. Boneheaded mistakes, terrible lapse of mental focus, and that's it. That's why you lost. And I hope Enzo Maresca can still take positives. I love the formation choices. I do want to see Cole Palmer out on the right-hand side with those midfield three of Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo. I think that could be our powerhouse midfield three going forward into next season. So I need Cole Palmer out there on the right-hand side, but he has to be more engaged. If he is not going to be engaged playing out on that right-hand side, then he needs to be brought back to the middle. He was a no-show today, and I have been a defender of Cole Palmer all season. When people were saying, hey, he's been a no-show, today was the first time I really felt like he was an absolute no-show. I don't know how many touches he had, but it couldn't be that many in that first half especially. And then the second half, after 65, 67 minutes, the game was lost. 2 goals and a red card in 10 minutes there. Not much you can do when you have to go down to 10 men and you haven't gotten into the game at that point. He had to be taken off. I'm okay with that. Enzo Maresca is going to get a short end of the stick here for doing some tinkering and it not working out. I don't think it was his fault. I think it was just lack of cohesiveness, mental mistakes, and a lack of desire against a team that had the fans, had the desire, had the quality in the final third to get shots on goal and get 3 of them themselves. Again, congratulations to Flamengo. Chelsea are going to need everything to do here in the last group stage game and get some help from LAFC to even have a chance at some tiebreakers to finish top of this group. But got to secure second place here. So we will see you all after game 3. Enjoy the football.